What's up, everybody? It's Devin Thomas. This is a episode of Unscripted. Just kind of hopping on the mic today just to say hello. I know it's been a minute since I put any content out, but, well, not a minute. We did just put out Last Call, our short film starring Stephen Ray Thomas and Christine Von Robbery. I don't know if you guys got a chance to see it yet, but if not, go on YouTube and look it up. It's called Last Call. It's a nice little short film. It's kind of our follow-up to Peninsula Nights. No relation in terms of narrative, but yeah, we've been working really, really hard ever since, we'd never stopped working. Peninsula Nights wrapped in probably February of 2024, and we just never stopped. We went to the editing room and chopped that thing up between February and June 8th. That's when the movie really got made, and of course, we revisited the movie after our screenings. There's a few things that need to be tweaked, and if you watch the version available on Amazon Prime, you can see that. It's really cool. But yeah, that being said, Last Call was the first time we really picked up the old camera to make something narrative. Since then, and it's not like we don't pick up the camera every day. I mean, there's between the iPhone and we have other cameras that we use. Something's getting shot every day. Content, interview, whatever, a podcast, even just Instagram or TikTok content. It's all getting made all the time. But it felt really good on that note to get back out there and start making something narrative. And I think it was a great precursor to our next film, Feel It All Around, which is going to be out sometime later this year. No promises yet, but that's really what we're working on next. So I'm excited to get working on that. It's really just it's been a crazy year. The winter, I thought we were going to make another movie before year's end in 2024, and winter came and life got in the way. And of course, we had a crazy year last year with politics aside. The election, I think, kind of just took over everyone's life. It was kind of the center stage, which was, it was a crazy fucking year. And, regardless of what your beliefs are, I think everyone can agree, like, wow, thank God that's over. Moving on, we're entering into 2025 and it's been off to a bang. I'm sure you guys have seen the news, the fires in California, this horrible fucking plane crash in DC, amongst all the other crazy shit going on in the world. I don't know, it makes you realize your problems, like, oh, my next movie I need to get done. It's just such a small fucking problem in the grand scheme of things. So that being said, we're optimistic about getting Feel It All Around done. I have another script I wrote over the holiday season called Christmas Lights, which is potentially up to be made. If you did come to our live screenings, the Q&A sessions over at Lighthouse Cinema in Pacific Grove, you would know that we announced a different film during the Q&A session, Cork. And as excited as I am about Cork, it's a little bit more complex than these two other scripts, and we got a lot of great people involved already. The pre-production's been fantastic, but it's really coming down to timing. If we're going to make this movie and potentially attach some, let's just say, bigger assets to the film, let alone get some money injected, I think it's got to be done where it's 100% of my attention. I need to eat, live, breathe, and shit that fucking movie out when I do it, and I just want to be at the top of my game, per se, and I think the actors agree. Everyone agrees. Also, we're making independent cinema. I'm not trying to disparage the fact that, we're doing it on, a budget or this or that. It's when you're making a movie at this scale, everything is important to consider, including location, who's going to be in it, how much equipment we're really going to need. Do we need multiple financiers, or can we do this, on a pretty limited budget? Peninsula Nights, I was able to do, virtually with cash and credit cards. And I mean, I was extremely happy with the result. There's always room for improvement, but yeah, I think once you get over that hump of I wonder if I can, and now you've done it, it's so much easier. And that's the mentality I'm keeping going forward. So besides the point, Feel It All Around, that is what's, coming soon from Thomas Dayor and American Art House and all the affiliated brands that you see us working with. I've been working with Christine and Steven on the film and the script, rather, and it's been interesting. Even doing Last Call, it just got everyone fired up again. So, and Last Call's out to a few festivals as well. So we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, I just wanted to come in, give a little update to everybody about what's going on. I'm trying to think of what else has been going on in our life. I've been baking just crazy amounts. I don't know if you guys follow me on Instagram, Devin Thomas Film, if you don't, and that's my handle virtually on everything. So if you want to give me a follow on X or TikTok. I think I'm even on fucking Red Note. Just give me a follow, and you'll be able to see the show that is just nonstop baking. You know, it's funny. Been dieting hard these last 2 years just to, you know, shed weight, get into shape, you know, kind of a reset, you know. And I just, you know, the first year I pretty much didn't take a cheat day other than holidays. And now it's just like, fuck it. You know, every 10, 20 days I have a cheat day where I just bake an absurd amount of chocolate chip cookies or pizza, whatever, you know. And it's become such a thing in our house that like we're actually considering maybe doing like a pop-up shop with pizza right out of the house, out of the home kitchen. So if you're a listener or if you're somebody who has just been following us and you're interested in trying some of our quote unquote delicacies, you know, hit the DM or send me an email. We're going to start taking orders for, you know, pop-up pizza, and pizza will be the, you know, the primary thing we're serving, but the chocolate chip cookies, fuck it, you know, throw them in there as a side. You got to have dessert with the meal. So that's something we've been looking into. Trying to think, I had a fucking ton of shit. I've been watching movies. I don't know if you guys saw Squid Game 2. I mean, this is so fucking off topic, but man, Squid Game 2, what a great follow-up. I was a little uncertain at first. I started watching it, I'm like, I don't know. But the more I've watched it, the more I'm like, damn, this might be even better than the Squid Game season 1. So that's like the hottest shit I've watched. I'm trying to think. I watched Nosferatu. I wasn't impressed. No hate to Robert Eggers or whatever his name is. It was just okay. I watched Heretic. I don't know if you guys caught that one. It was pretty good. I've already talked up Anora plenty and The Apprentice. I thought both were fucking phenomenal. Probably the two best movies of the year. And obviously, I think even award ceremonies and Academy are recognizing that, which is nice. Or the Globes, whoever. The people, the, you know, regulatory parties and the powers that be, they're on top of that. But yeah, I'm trying to think of anything else. Aside from that, it's really, you know, I've been, I took December off pretty much. When I say I took December off, it's bullshit. I wrote all December long and just tried to make the most of my time. And on top of just trying to make the most of my time, just planning for 2025. 2025 has been, you know, it's been a fucking circus so far, but I think everything's, you know, kind of falling into place, which is how it always goes. It feels like, oh, we're never going to get it. And here we are, you know? So yeah, I'm trying to think of anything else that's been, you know, going on in my life that I really want to let everyone know. If you are interested, let's get back to Feel It All Around, because I feel like I just had coffee. My mind's all over the fucking place. If you're interested in being in Feel It All Around, I have heard you reach out. I have had other things going on in my life that, like, you know, have taken away from my professional life and my career, but that's, you know, besides the point. I have seen you text or reach out, and I hear you. We will all connect soon. That's been my bad and partially just things out of my control. But yes, for Feel It All Around, if you are interested in being a part of it, send, it's hard to send video auditions, but send reference videos or anything any credentials you have. And on top of that, if you don't have credentials, we are also looking, or not credentials, you know, resume, headshot, etc. I'm sorry, not coming out right. But if you're not going to be an actor or something, you just want to participate, production assistant, maybe like an associate producer, and just help us out, reach out to me as well. I'm extremely open and very accessible. I do not like gatekeeping. I want to make sure people feel like they can reach out to me, because there's not a lot of opportunity for filmmakers in particularly the Central Coast of California. I mean, I'm between LA and Monterey County, and yeah, you know, even growing up in Monterey County, I knew how sparse it was. So if you are looking for an opportunity, I'm here to help. I also want to throw it out there for Feel It All Around. We are looking for locations. So location call might be a little different than actors. And I also want to throw it out there for actors and extras. You'd think everybody's going to show up when you plan these fucking shoots. And most of the time you get a text saying like, hey bro, I can't, or sorry, or just no show. So if you're thinking about participating, hit my line. You're probably going to be able to get into the movie just simply due to the fact that, like, a lot of people just end up bailing, or just, it's hard to get people together. You know, I'm 31 going on 32. It's tough to even get my friends to come over these days, you know? So imagine getting a bunch of strangers to come and stand in front of a camera for 4.5 hours, 5 hours a day. And, yeah, it can be a little bit of a mess. You also got to have food and make sure people are content. This is a little bit more of a memory lane, but when we were shooting Peninsula Nights, I remember we did the Rustique winery scene, and oh boy, you know, I call it the impossible scene. We shot it in probably 5-6 hours, maybe 6 hours. It's being generous. I think probably 4. But I remember, you know, all the talent showed up. People were showing up probably around the sunset. I immediately geared up. The actors knew what to do. We had talked about it so much. Stevie and I talked about it tremendously. Same with Christine, about how we were going to execute it, how we're going to make multiple setups be one shot, or excuse me, one setup be multiple shots. And in the end, it all came out right. So, but there was just, a lot of people to manage that day, and including food and entertainment. I know entertainment on set. Oh, people are watching the show, but people are people. People get bored and they'll want to fucking leave if you don't keep them entertained. So, we had the wine flowing, we had C's candy, we had sandwiches, a bunch of shit. And it sounds so simple, but honestly, it's the little things that really, when you're making a movie on this scale, people appreciate it. So that's good. But that being said, yes, if you're interested in being in the movie, DM me or email me at feelitallaroundmovie@gmail.com. I don't hold me to that. I got to double check. I'm just kind of freestyling here, but yeah. And also location call. So if you saw on our Instagram, and I'll post it again and I'll make it readily available, but we're also looking for locations. So if you're somebody who's just got an apartment or a killer location that just wants to share, and of course you'll be credited. We'll make sure your name is seen on screen and make sure you're acknowledged for any contribution you make. That's just how we are. And that's really the beauty of making movies on this scale as well, is that before we made the movie, there's so many people that I would call good friends or just great acquaintances at this point, and people I'll probably never forget in my life that I just would have never fucking met if we didn't make this movie. So, and that it goes from location. It's funny. One of our actors in Peninsula Nights, Sam Purcell, he was brought to us through one of our friends. Tanya knew Linda, who actually used to work with my mom. My mom would do her hair way back in the day. And it's funny because when we went to get her location, it's a Big Little Boxes store in Carmel by the Sea. And the only way we really got Sam in the movie is because of this, networking. We went from Tanya to Linda, who said when we showed up to view the shop and see if it was a great location, when we went to go scout it, she literally said, who might be good for this role is my husband. I heard her husband, Sam, through the phone, his personality and his charisma. And I didn't even need to see him. I just knew, when we heard him, I was like, this guy's got the personality and the swagger, and he seemed just open to doing it. And when I met him, that energy translated 10 times more. So you don't know who you're going to meet through the networking of this. And that's just one example. I literally have met so many people through this movie. It's been the greatest gift in my life, because not only have I met, cool people like Sam, I've met people that just have been supportive and wanted to be a part of the journey. So that's what's really important. On that note, I think also, even just post-production, putting the movie out, going through the theatrical run, shout out to David Diaz over at Lighthouse Cinemas in Pacific Grove. He was a huge, huge asset in terms of bringing the movie to an audience, doing those live screenings. The movie got seen, and it got seen big, and people loved it. And I never thought in 2024, I know we're in 25 now, but during that summer of 24, the last place I thought this movie was going to stream was on the big screen. So, and let alone, having sold out theatrical run is very strange when you're thinking this thing's going to go on the internet onto a streamer and maybe people will see it. And honestly, it's funny. This is once again another tangent, but I feel like, look at where business has gone. It went to streaming, and now independent cinema's back in the theater, and people actually want to go and see a movie in theaters and actually see people that are making the movies, especially when it's in your own backyard. It's just, there's a natural sense of curiosity. But yeah, on that note, I just want to say to everybody out there, if you are interested in Feel It All Around or being a part of it, I'll get that email put up online, and it's on Instagram as well. But location call, casting call, production call is another thing I want to mention. I know a lot of people have reached out to me about doing production, and it's complicated on our set because unless it's weird. Our setup is very one-man band per se, right? I've got a lot of it figured out where I don't need a crew, but that doesn't mean I don't want a crew or am not open to it. So if you are also a crew member, and I have some friends out there that I've touched base with personally, and they know that they're in my thoughts and I'm thinking about them for any opportunity that comes up. If there is an opportunity for production, I'm more than happy. Production assistance for sure, especially if you're, a student or you're just trying to get, some hands-on experience. I get it. I always say I wish there was somebody I could have gone to when I was that age that would have been open to just showing me the ropes. And I had some people like that in my life that would let me use equipment or just get my hands, dirty and try and figure out what I'm doing. So yeah, I'm very open. I just want people to know that. And if this opportunity isn't the one, there's always going to be another one. Like, as far as making movies goes, I have no intention of stopping. I want to be able to keep them coming and keep networking and building a relationship with other filmmakers professionally, and really just bring the independent spirit of filmmaking back to not just Central Coast and California, but just in general. I think there's a huge transition in Hollywood right now, and we're in the eye of the storm as it transitions into whatever it's going to be. I've seen so many people talk about the state of Hollywood, and it's truly in a transitory period. So let's just see where it goes and see what happens. And yeah, it's fun to be a part of the ride. All right, guys, that's probably all I got for today, but I just want to say thank you for all the support on Peninsula Nights, Last Call, and all the forward support on the future projects like Feel It All Around and just wherever this road leads us. So thank you so much. Love you guys. This is Devin Thomas with Unscripted.